Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia. I'm coming to you from the UK, and today is Friday, the 9th of May 2025. How it is May, I have no idea, but I'm so glad to be chatting to you today about some knitting. Let's just go quickly to our FO of the week because it is quite warm. I've just returned from the school run and a little coffee on the high street, and we live on a hill, so it is very warm. So what I am wearing is my finished Burra Cowl, which is a pattern by Mary Wallen, knit in Jamieson of Shetland's yarn. I used the original colors. I got the kit from Northern Yarns, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. And anyways, you can Google it. I got the original kit to make the cowl, and as you can maybe see, I've made it a little bit shorter because I do want it to sit up here rather than sort of dangle further down. I just like a cowl that is quite close to the neck, and I think this has worked out perfectly. So what I've done is I've done 2 3/4 of the repeat. So this is what it looks like. It is a cowl that is knit in the round. As a slight modification, rather than a regular cast on, I just did a provisional cast on and then I grafted it closed, which I can show you. Here is where I did my grafting, and I think it worked out pretty well. I think there is one extra round in the pattern, but it looks fine and there is no seam that you can feel or anything. So I'm pretty happy with that effort. Yeah, it is done and I love it. I think it is so beautiful. The colors just work together so well. I hope you can see it properly. It is a really, really bright day here, so I can't even see very well what my camera is recording, but I'm hoping it should be okay. So yeah, that is my finished object. I love it. As you may know, I also have the kit to make the Fettler scarf, which is a similar pattern by Mary Wallen, but obviously as a scarf. I don't want to do it right away, but I think I'll do it pretty soon because I really enjoyed this. And I think this is just going to be one of those pieces that I'll wear for years and years. It's just so beautiful. So yeah, that is my finished object for this week. And I have 3 works in progress to talk to you about. Firstly, I have managed to make some good progress on my mum's cowl, which I ideally would like to have finished by summer so I can leave it in Germany when we go in summer. Her birthday is at the end of September, and sorry, it's been bunched up. But this is where I was last time, and look. We watched a lot of F1 over the weekend and I just used that as my F1 knitting, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress. We're definitely past the point of it being a single loop cowl unless you like a sort of very loose one, but I think this doesn't really provide much warmth. When it was about the length for a single loop, I measured the yarn. I have 50 grams of each color and I weighed it and I had 23 grams of each. So I might come into a bit of a yarn chicken scenario at some point. I'm not sure. What I've done to rectify it slightly, because obviously these stripes are quite like spaced out. I'm not sure if you can tell. I used to do 12 row stripes and I have since changed to 11 row stripes in the hope that maybe that means I can eke it out. We will see. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do. I'll figure something out. I also don't know how this yarn is going to block. This is 100% man-made fibers because my mum does not tolerate any wool. But yeah, it is literally a tube in the round with stripes. And the yarn that I am using for this is this yarn. It is Rico yarn that I got in Germany. My mum picked it. Rico Baby Dream DK Uni. And yeah, I don't have that much of each color, but we will see. I'll just basically keep knitting until I run out of yarn, and then we'll see. I mean, if I just run out of yarn to complete stripes, I could make a quick section where I just do like 1 or 2 row stripes. I think that could be fun. It's already pretty colorful, so it doesn't really matter. Or if you have any other ideas that don't necessarily involve buying more yarn, let me know. If I do have to buy more yarn, I don't know if I can here in the UK. I would have to have a look. I could always do it in Germany when we're there. Although it would be a hassle. Probably what I would do is just buy one single color and do like a single colored section, because I'm not going to buy another ball of each color. That would be insane. So yeah, I've made some progress on this, and I really hope my mum will love it. It's really colorful, but my mum doesn't mind a bit of color. So I mean, she picked the colors. I hope it is what she wants. I have also been working on, hang on, my needle is stuck somewhere. I've been working on my Mohairino medley shawl by Stephen West. So this is where we are on that one. I think I'm sitting a bit too close to the camera today, but here we are. So as you might know, I started this on our holiday, and it is quite big, even though I'm making 1 repeat less. So I'm technically making it less wide. It is still really wide. And last time I talked to you and showed this to you, I think I was just at the beginning of this section. So I've just completed this. And I think I'm pretty close to completing this sort of really funky section where you slip the stitches back across the needle. I must be close to finishing that soon as well. So yeah, I still really enjoy how these colors are just playing together. And what yarn I'm using, I am using a set from Beehive Yarns. I believe this was her Hocus Pocus set, or like some kind of Halloween-y set that came with 4 skeins of this high twist sock yarn. I basically bought this with this pattern in mind, which I had started previously with a different sort of stash combination of yarns, which I didn't like. And I've paired it with this mohair, which is whatever mohair I used for the glow hair along by Stephen West recently. I just have 1 ball. I think it should be enough. If it isn't, I have sort of similar colors of mohair in stash, so I think I will just figure it out. It'll be fine. So yeah, that is that. Sorry, I'm speeding through this. This is going to be a quick episode. And then I cast on a new project. So I mentioned last week that I really wanted to cast on another garment in JC Rennie yarn. They're super soft, which I really love. I go on about it all the time. I buy the cones. Here's one. This is the colorway Confetti. And I was planning to knit an Anchors sweater, which I think I even mentioned. So I got this cone out. And then decided to do something completely different. And the thing is, I have been wanting to make the Traveler's Shell by Andrea Mowry for a long time. And I've swatched for it with 2 different yarns, and I never got gauge, not even close. And I was like, what if I swatch with this yarn? So the Traveler's Shell is meant to be knit with, I think, 2 strands of lace weight, like a fluffy lace weight and a non-fluffy lace weight. We all know I'm a loose knitter, so my previous attempts, I tried with a Hillesvåg yarn, which didn't work. Was it Hillesvåg Sölja or Vilja? One of those. I tried with the yarn that I eventually used for my Rebel cardigan, which was Studio Donegal Darny. So I was like, I'll try with this, just with a single strand, because this is a sort of very lightweight 4-ply. It's beautiful. Did I get gauge? No, but I decided to just knit it anyways. So this is the sort of the stitch pattern. It's like basically, it's not garter stitch, but it's like a knit and purl ridges. I got a 20.5 stitch gauge with this yarn in this stitch pattern, where I should have gotten a 24 stitch gauge. So I did some math and decided to cast on. So with my off gauge, I am doing the second size of the pattern, which is called size 1 because it starts as a size 0, which confuses me, but oh well. And look, I have been obsessed with this. So the Traveler's Shell is essentially is it a short sleeve cardigan? Is it a vest? I would argue it's more like a short sleeve cardigan, like it's just like a throw over piece. And I have seen people add sleeves, and I am tempted to do the same. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I like the short sleeve version. I think it looks really cool over like a simple shirt. I wonder if I'll get more use out of it with sleeves, but I have a long way until I have to decide. So we will see. And yeah, I have done so much knitting on this because this is on 3.25 millimeters needles with a fine yarn. It's a lot of purling because obviously, like, it's some knitting, some purling, because you need to create these ridges. But honestly, I've had a really, really stressful week at work. I was expecting an easy week and it's just been horrible. And this has been my way to keep my sanity. I've just been knitting on this basically non-stop since I started it on Tuesday. Today's Friday. And I just love the texture. It just gives a really, really cool texture. And yeah, so clearly this is a bottom-up cardigan. I love how it's working out. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show this to you, but as I showed you, I'm knitting this from a cone. So this is yarn that is basically meant for a knitting machine. It has not been washed, so it has all this spinning oil still in the yarn. So I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty, like, it's a little bit holey and gappy and stringy. And then if you compare that to the swatch that I've washed, can you see how much that yarn fluffs up? So this is the same yarn, same gauge, but this is fluffy and not gappy, and it looks beautiful, like the yarn just puffs up. And that is how my garment will look in the end. And I just love the magic of these yarns. I hope it's coming across. I know once I wash this and block this, it'll have this beautiful fluffy texture, and I love this so much. So yeah, I mean, it's not the most exciting thing to knit, but somehow, like, I just want to get another purl row done, another knit row done, another bump done, and I've been watching BBC's Race Across the World while knitting on this in the evenings, and this has just given me so much joy. I love it. I also had a 3-hour meeting, which was torture this week. But at least I got to knit on this, so that made it a whole lot better. And yeah, I'm really excited to actually have this finished garment as well. And I know I say this about a lot of garments, but I'm already like thinking, do I need a second one? Do I need a third one? I think this could be a really good sort of staple piece to just throw over. Like, for example, my office tends to be quite cold, either because of aircon or because of single glazed windows. So yeah, we'll see, but I'm very, very excited about my traveler's shell, in case you haven't realized. So yeah, that is basically what I have been working on this week. I did consider knitting this out of this JC Rennie, which I talked about last week, my charity shop find, which I think is Oogie Pearl. But I went with this slightly more like lilac-y shade. It's really, really hard to capture. It is definitely like a light lilac. Sometimes it reads grey. But I think that could actually be quite handy because it's almost a neutral, but I think it's quite wearable. And I tend to wear a lot of black at work, so this could work. Pun not intended. So yeah, there we go. That is my traveler shell, and I am really, really excited about it. Usually a cardigan with this yarn I would steek and just cut up and knit in the round, but obviously with this pattern it doesn't really make sense because you'll still be purling a lot of stitches anyway, so then there's no real advantage in steeking it. So I'm knitting it flat, and I'm actually finding it quite meditative. So yeah, basically that is what I've been working since last week, working on. I have not touched a sock in a week, which feels crazy, but I think after knitting a fair few socks on holiday, I'm just over it a little bit. And I think this cowl is sort of serving as my sock knitting, as it, it's just stocking it in the round. So that is scratching that itch if I ever have it. Yeah, I've basically ignored all of my other projects. I think I only have sock projects on the go. Let's not talk about my colorwork cowl that I started months and months ago. That is definitely hibernating, and we'll just not mention it. But yeah, that's where we are. This has been a very, very short podcast, but I expected it would be. Do you want to see my embroidery? I have done some embroidery. Let's just show you that really quick. I have not worked on my Hoop Club by Cotton Clara for a long time. I just haven't gotten around to picking it up. But what I have been doing is I've been trying to catch up with my stitch, what's it called? Stitch calendar? Embroidery? I forgot what this is called. It's like a diary where you stitch a little bit each month. And this one is pre-printed. There are also people who just do it on a plain canvas and do their own sort of symbols. So yeah, as you can see, I think I finished March, or I was close to finishing March, and this week I have done April. So April was quite colorful, but I actually quite like it. So at least it was already May when I was doing April, but at least I finished April now, and I've done the tiniest bit of May, and I may actually do a little bit more of that today. So hopefully I'll be somewhat back on track for this, which I think this will just be really nice once it's all done. Like, it looks a bit funny now, but once it's all complete, I think it should be a really nice memory. This particular piece of fabric is from Stitch Doodles here in the UK. My sisters gave me the fabric for Christmas, and then I actually ordered from the same shop the frame and some threads and stuff to go with it. And I've been using these black pony needles, which are really, really nice to use actually. They're not that expensive. I got like a massive pack, and I quite enjoy them. They're just a little bit easier on the eyes than using the silver needles. So yeah, I've been working a little bit on this today and just looking at it this week, and just looking at it, I think I might do a tiny bit today. So yeah, that is my stitching, and honestly that's been it in terms of crafting. We've been doing a lot of gardening, and work has just been completely manic. So that's been taking up a lot of my sort of brain space and time. We had a bank holiday weekend last weekend, and finally, after thinking about it for so long, I got myself a new bike, a bicycle, because my old bike is still in Germany, and I sort of like thought about bringing it over to the UK for years, but it's just not worth it. So finally, very spontaneously, in time for my birthday, which is coming up next week, I treated myself to a new bike, and so we spent most of the bank holiday weekend, the three of us, cycling around, and it's been really, really fun. My son is 4, he loves riding his bike, but I was sort of expecting, we'd be like slowly trundling along. But no, we've been going like full speed up and down the hills and going everywhere, so I'm quite sore. But it's really fun to have a bike again, because I used to cycle everywhere when I was younger, and now I can do that again. So yeah, that has been my non-knitting adventures, gardening and cycling. And yeah, that is basically all I have to tell you guys for this week. So do let me know what you are working on. I always really, really appreciate seeing or hearing about those projects. I hope that wherever you are in the world, that you're healthy and safe, and have some yarn to play with. I'm going to enjoy the last couple of free hours this week, because this is my day off. I should be cleaning and doing stuff, but I think instead I'm going to make myself a cup of decaf coffee and do some stitching. And I shall hopefully catch up with you guys again next week. So until then, happy knitting. Thank you for watching. Bye.